If you're going to make an augment fat mage, make sure it's a woman. Starfall for some reason thinks a woman in this game has a larger hitbox than a man. So a max size augment woman doesn't have hitboxes on the arms when they're on the horse. This means you don't have to wear necessarily very high tier armor on the horse for your arms. This doesn't mean you shouldn't be wearing any armor on your arms while you're on a horse. It just means you don't have to wear a bunch, because you can still get hit while prepping spells or using bandages. But if you were just sitting there on the horse, nobody can hit you on your arms. This is me hitting a max size Augmere man, just to prove it to you. If you are planning on making a new fat mage, the best place to go to, in my opinion, is Bhakti. There's a special hut in Bhakti that a fat mage can go into, but a horse cannot get out of. So if you go to this hut and log out when you're inside of it, while your horse is outside, and log back in, your horse will be inside with you. And then all you have to do is mount back up, and press W 2 times, and then freely cast on the horse. The horse cannot get outside. The hut is around, so you continue to go around the hut. So all you have to do is just watch a YouTube video and constantly press your self-cast button, and you'll never get logged out because you're technically still riding on the horse. This trains your mounted skills, your riding skills, and all your mage skills. The game does a terrible job of communicating this to you, but if you're an Augmere fat mage, you technically have negative 30 dexterity, and I think like negative 20 strength or something like that. That's why when you are creating a new character, the best thing to dump your stats into is height, because you are never going to have enough stats to get over the threshold of the negative 30 and negative 40 penalty of going over a beast. So if you're making a new fat mage that's an Augmere, make sure you increase your height as much as you can during the character creation screen, so you can get the added HP from being taller. Ever since I posted the fat mage tutorial video, people have been asking me about what my skills are. I haven't really gone into great detail about this because I'm by no means a meta build. The only reason I have animal care is just for the convenience, and technically you don't even need taming as the fat mage. Really the only thing I would recommend is ecumenical be at 100 now. I know mine's 99, that's just a goof. And spiritism be at 90. And also, for the love of God, please put your balance up to 100. So really at the end of the day, this is what I consider to be the bare minimum. So I don't know if this was a recent change or if I'm just late to the party, because I distinctly remember Jotuns have a sharper turning circle than all the other horses. But I've tested this nearly extensively, and it turns out that all the horses now have the same turn circle. I did this by wedging up into this sign and then turn directly west when my horse does a dip and then double tap W and turning left. The reason why this is important, or at least used to be, is because you use Jotuns because they had a sharper turning circle and had more HP. You should be using a different horse or a different mount depending on where you are on the map. I'm mostly in Fabrinum, because all the noobs go to Fabrinum because it looks directly like Haven. So I like to go out there and help them when they're in the graveyard and getting ganked. The horse that I use is a Jotun horse because I'm not going very far and it has a bunch of HP. A Jotun in Fabrinum is perfectly suited for the environment, because I'm not looking for a very fast horse, I'm looking for a horse with a lot of HP so I can get in there and get out and still be alive. This would not work in some place like Meduli or the open plains. A very slow horse that has a bunch of HP in Meduli is going to die every single time because you're going to get run over by MAs with Jezer horses. The best horse for me in Fabrinum would technically be a Mulva, but I don't want to invest all into that. Really, at the end of the day, just use the horse suited to your environment. That's going to give you the best chance of survival. When you get dismounted, your horse is going to run away from you. So if you get dismounted, the first thing you need to do is spam pets follow me. And then after you get done spamming that, find out where your horse is and get back on that horse. This is so much faster than trying to find your horse after getting dismounted by not calling your pets. Especially in a fight when it's all chaotic. Please do not be one of these people that think it's okay just to look for their horse in the middle of a fight without calling them towards you. Your number one priority should be to get back on that horse. You should always have a weapon on you as a fat mage, not to parry or anything, just for equipment hits. Especially spears. Everything along the back of this spear on my back will be an equipment hit if you hit me there, and it's free armor, with no weight, no downsides. The best spear to technically be using is a satyr spear because of the big head. I often hear about people that go into battle and forget a certain type of reagent. To circumvent this, what I do is I just use bags. With my current setup, if I fill this entire bag with reagents and whatever else I need into it, then I know I'm ready to go. A good force of habit is just to have bags already set up in your bank with a big stash on your left side so you're ready to go at any time. When you're doing damage as a fat mage, you just need to stop looking at the numbers that you're doing and instead what you chunked them for. For example, if I hit this horse right here, how many more hits do I need to hit him until that horse is dead? regardless of how much I hit this horse for, that's what you need to be focusing on. So in this example, I'm going to need to hit this horse 3 and some change, probably 4 times for this horse to die. That is the only thing you need to be focusing on in terms of this. You're going to hit different things for different amounts. I'll hit a pig for 120, but I'll hit a player for 18. The damage numbers don't matter in terms of your efficiency. What you need to be focusing on is how much you've hit them for, and then you can extrapolate that out depending on what spell you need to use. This means that me looking at the bar, not the number that I hit this mob for, I know that a Flame Strike would kill this mob every single time just because of the bar. So if we go back to our horse example, a Flame Strike would probably hit this guy for 3 times and it would die. Mental Projectile is going to be 3 and some change, Thunder Lash maybe 5 times. And that's all by me just looking at the bar, not the number that I'll be doing. You can make everything you need as a Fat Mage, literally everything that you need. You can tame all your horses, level them up easier with animal care, you can use ritualism. Your food, armor, pet bags, everything that you need can be made as a Fat Mage on one character. And that's the reason why I think this is the best build for a solo character, because you are totally 100% dependent on yourself. And this is an example of how you can get away with that. Considering that a stack of steel goes for about 500 no matter where you are, we get our regs pretty on the cheap. Here are some basic entry level things that you probably should be wearing if you're a new Fat Mage, because the stuff that you use to make him is so cheap basically everywhere. You technically can also farm your iron fur if you have some turtles or whatever else. This is by no means meta stuff, but it is good stuff just to have around. Also remember that if you're a female Ogmere, you don't need to wear arms, so the rugged stuff would be perfectly fine in your situation. This is going to be Fabrinum pricing, so stuff like scales are going to be significantly cheaper in, say, like Bhakti. I think I'm going to start doing some short-term content like this in the future. Nothing serious, you know? So stick around if you like this stuff.